Welcome to the COMC Community Spotlight Show. Of course, it's presented by the great folks at Central Ozarks Medical Center, where your health is their mission, and it just so happens we've got one of those wonderful people from COMC with us here today, DawnElyn Schneider. I like to kid her every time I see her that she's got the same last name I do. It's the best name.
It's pretty great.
In the world, that's right. I think you've got the longest title at COMC.
I think I do. I can still hold that record.
Yeah.
Chief Network Development and Population Health Officer.
Yeah, it's a mouthful. How do you get that on your door?
You don't. You abbreviate a lot.
There you go. There's a whole lot of letters there.
That's right.
Absolutely. So just getting caught up on everything that's going on in the COMC universe these days. You guys continue to grow just amazingly. And you've got a new place coming in Crocker.
Yes, we're so excited about that.
Wow. Yeah. When does that happen?
So we're about 6 months out from opening there, and that will be medical, dental, and behavioral health. So a fully functioning FQHC right there in Crocker.
Okay. Yes. Is Crocker a growing community or?
Absolutely. You know, I see so many of our smaller towns in our counties that are really flourishing and kind of having a revival. So they're certainly one of those.
Right. And you are based out of Richland,
yes.
right? Another one of those small and yet big and important communities, you know, in central Missouri. In fact, I think COMC started in Richland.
We sure did, yes. That was our very first clinic location. We started there in 1978, became an FQHC in 1979 there.
Wow.
And our administrative offices are still there today.
Yeah, been there. Pretty cool place. Okay, so and you mentioned in the new Crocker facility, behavioral health care, dental health care,
yes.
and medical health care. Some things that COMC has been adding into the mix. Recently, optometry is coming. That's eye stuff, right?
It is. Yeah. It is. Yeah. So we have a mobile unit that is going to have our optometry services on that. So not only will we go out to our schools and other locations, third-party partner locations, but we'll also be able to see our clinic patients, you know, parking in the parking lot, being able to see patients there. And we're so excited about this. This is the #1 requested service by our patients.
Really?
Mm-hmm. In our post-appointment surveys that go out to our patients, this was the #1 item consistently the last 3 years. And so we knew it was a need.
Yeah.
And we also heard from our school partners that this can be a need through some different processing and services that are needed there. So this is just kind of was our next logical step for services to provide and really fill a gap in our community.
Okay, and that means like being tested for new glasses?
Yeah, so the full eye exam to identify any vision concerns and also being able to get that prescription and then getting glasses either through us or through a third party.
Okay,
yes.
Cool. And I'm guessing to go along with that would be contacts, right? Another form of glasses or something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. That prescription can then be used for contacts or glasses.
Okay, so there you go. Optometry coming, and that is with a mobile unit.
Yes.
Right? Okay, which is one of the cool things about COMC is you don't necessarily always have to go to them.
Right.
You are out in the community going to schools, going to rural areas.
Yeah, because we are so rural and geographically spread out, and we serve 5 counties that are really large geographically and separated by a lot of miles. Sometimes it makes sense to provide those services on a mobile unit that then can locate in those different counties.
Okay, so new place coming in Crocker, new optometry. Is that happening yet, or is that still in the process?
So this summer, it should we should roll that out, so we're ready to kick off the next school year.
Okay, and another one of the new things that has just opened up, I believe, is the urgent dental care.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, we're so excited about that as well. You know, dental concerns don't necessarily pop up just right at your
convenience
biannual dental cleaning. And so, you know, we know that those concerns pop up and you need to get in immediately. But dentist schedules are really full. And there's a need in the community still for more access. And so having dental urgent care really means that someone who is in pain today can get seen today and can get relief today.
Yeah. And you see them on same day.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Which is a good thing, because if you've ever had a toothache,
oh man,
it is not good.
That's right.
Yeah.
That
you
is
want to
right.
go see somebody right away.
You do. It's one of the worst pains, I think, in my opinion.
I know. Yeah. It's not good. I don't know how they did it in the old days, like the old John Wayne movies, you know, where they go in and just rip out the tooth.
Yeah, they get some pliers.
Yeah, exactly. No, thank you. And then I was reading that COMC's also started doing something you call jail reentry.
Yes.
What in the world is jail reentry?
So this is such a cool program that we've really got to start from hearing a community need, much like our optometry.
Right.
We sat through several sessions of sequential intercept mapping that was held by each of the counties. And so this includes like your court systems, your first responders, law enforcement, healthcare, social services, and talking about how do we intercept individuals before they get to justice involvement.
Right.
And, you know, if someone has a behavioral health need, maybe the right place isn't jail for them. So identifying those concerns, but then if someone does become carceral in a carceral setting, so justice involved, what do we do to help them re-enter and really get that second chance? And how do we set them up for success there? And so this was something that we had sat through multiple sessions of these, and we had the opportunity to apply for a funding that really aligned with those supports. And what we get to do with this one is we'll have a navigator who is in the jail, and they'll work with individuals starting 90 days prior to release.
Okay.
And they will work to set them up for success for housing, for transportation, for employment. So we're working with career centers to get them not only applications to positions before they're ever released, but also if they need training. If they, imagine you go to jail and you are renting an apartment, all of your things are gone.
Yeah.
And at that point, by the time you're released. And so that can include social security cards, birth certificates, driver's license. So all of those things need renewed, or you need to be able to apply for those again. And so this reentry navigator can assist in doing that. So it's a whole bunch of wraparound services. I could go on all day, but it's a whole bunch of wraparound services to really identify how we have a positive reentry and reduce recidivism back into jail.
What an amazing idea.
We're so excited about it. Yeah. And, one of the key components of this is also that we are setting that individual up for all of their healthcare appointments. Because really setting them up with, any dental concerns that have popped up while they've been in jail. Because a jail's role is not necessarily to treat everything, but really it's to keep an individual comfortable and cared for.
Yeah.
And so we're going in and saying, we'll see, do they need dental care? Do they need medical care? Behavioral health, any type of SUD supports for substance use, and all, kind of the full gamut of services. And soon to be optometry services as well. So they'll get that whole spectrum of care to really say, like, we want you to begin on the best fit possible. And then they can also continue working with that navigator after release to check back in and really see how things are going.
That's amazing. How do you keep all this straight in your mind? I mean, you just talk about it like off the top of your head, and it's like,
after you write the grant, you kind of have it ingrained in there for a long time. So,
that's amazing.
But we're just so excited about it, and to me, it is one of the most fulfilling pieces of my role is to get to see a true community need and how COMC can kind of stand in the gap and really support both our law enforcement and our community. And our individuals who are looking for a second chance.
Yeah. Okay. DawnElyn Schneider. We're going to continue to talk about this amazing stuff you never think of that is being taken care of kind of behind the scenes and underneath. So, okay, we'll come back. We'll talk more with DawnElyn Schneider right after this. This is the COMC Community Spotlight Show. At COMC, your health is our mission. Central Ozarks Medical Center offers 3 OBGYNs at the Osage Beach Clinic and 2 pediatricians with same-day appointments available. At COMC, our doors are open to everyone with 5 primary care locations conveniently located across the Ozarks. COMC for the best medical, dental, and behavioral health care. Get more info on how COMC can help you at centralozarks.org. COMC, where your health is our mission.
You're watching Lake TV.
Welcome back to the COMC Community Spotlight Show. We've got COMC's own DawnElyn Schneider with us here, the Chief Network Development and Population Health Officer. Okay, can't get all of that on one door or on one desk. You've got a couple of high energy boys, right, that you're raising.
Yes,
young children.
absolutely.
And I got a kick out of it because you were saying that you are just now having to learn what football's all about.
I really am. Yeah, I didn't grow up in a football town.
Yeah.
We were a very small school, and so basketball was our main sport. And so now that my boys are in football, my oldest son informed me that I really had to get up with the times and had to figure out what was going on. About the third time I asked him what the difference between a cornerback and a quarterback was.
Right.
And so I tease him now. I read Football for Dummies.
Right.
So I jokingly say that I'm going to be the assistant coach the next year because I know so much about football now. But
I can see the response.
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
Mom.
Properly embarrassed.
Yes, indeed. I was reading over like your bio and stuff, and somebody asked you one time what the greatest business lesson you have learned. I loved your answer. What was that answer?
So you're going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
You're going to have to forget the mistake, but keep the lesson. And I actually learned this from my husband, who's a baseball coach. And he tells this to pitchers, is that you have to have a short-term memory, learn from what you did, but forget the mistake.
Yeah.
Because if you keep thinking about that and holding on to it, you're going to do it again and again, and your mind's not going to be ready to move on to the next thing. So this is one way that I always coach, especially young leaders coming up, is that you're going to make these mistakes. I just worked through this with an individual short while ago, is that these things are going to happen. You're going to learn from them, and you're never going to make that mistake again. You're going to remember it. The lesson from it. And so forget this feeling in this moment and just move forward with the lesson.
And that's biblical too. I mean, I think the Apostle Paul wrote that. You know, I forget what's behind, I move on to what's ahead.
That's right.
Stuff. So that's some pretty wise thinking. The medical world is so confusing now in a lot of ways. You got Medicaid and, whether or not you are eligible for Medicaid.
Yes.
Can COMC help people with that?
Absolutely. So we have what we call community health workers, or CHWs, and they are a incredible resource to help individuals with, one, understanding their benefits with Medicaid, but also applying and understanding like where they are in that application process. Right now, the state is a little behind in applications and renewals, and so it can feel like a really long wait for individuals, and they can work with a community health worker to really see like, hey, where am I at? Has this been processed? Do I have everything in I need to have in?
Yeah.
And they can certainly help with that.
Boy, it's so good to have a friend, that knows that stuff, that can help you, and COMC can do that. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
Another thing I noticed COMC works really hard to combat drug overdoses and stuff like that. And I was just reading that for the first time since 2015, overdose is in reduction mode. It's actually going down.
Yeah, so we operate off a little bit of dated data. So 2023 is the last full year of data that we have.
Okay.
But that is the first reduction that we've had in overdose deaths since 2015, which is huge. And I can't help but think that that's in large part to all of the harm reduction efforts that are happening, not only at COMC, but across the state, with Narcan being available. I know we have Narcan vending machines where there's fentanyl test strips. You can get doTERRA bags to dispose of any medications and make them inert so they can be disposed of safely, so children aren't able to get injured with them. No one can use them to obtain a high with them. So it's really an incredible resource for our communities, and it does help. Studies show that it does help with reducing overdoses.
Yeah.
And so we're so excited about that data.
So huge. Okay, if folks want to get more information about COMC, what's the best way to do that?
Oh, our website is probably the fullest scope of information, which is www.centralozarks.org.
Okay, centralozarks.org.
Yes.
Thank you. It's so good to see you again.
Same to you, Chris.
Same last name as me, DawnElyn Schneider. Thank you so much for joining us for the COMC Community Spotlight Show.